Before we get started with the agenda, I just wanted to congratulate Laura on her new role. And it's kind of there's a lot of words. For the acting section supervisor, I think we'll just think that you're leading Arlington Neighborhoods program. But I think it's an advancement for you. We're delighted to have you here. We're happy to have the smooth transition, everything that's going on, and take advantage of your experience and skills with the program. All of us, all the programs, so that's a real plus for us. So we're looking forward to working with you and offer you our unconditional support.
Thank you, Kathy. Really appreciate that.
So now we can go ahead with the roll call.
All right. So roll call. We're going to ask that everybody also state their name, as well as acknowledge that they're here, whether virtual or in the room. So Alcova Heights, Arlington East Falls Church, Arlington Forest.
Can they all hear us?
Okay. I wonder if everyone can hear. Can everyone hear us do the roll call?
We got a thumbs up earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Arlington Mill. Arlington Ridge.
I'm thinking you skipped Arlington Heights.
I did. Arlington Heights.
Eileen Janice, I'm here.
Okay.
I know I have to pay attention at the very beginning.
Arlington View.
Here, in the right place.
Arlingwood. Ashton Heights. Aurora Highlands.
Chris Horvath here, Ashton Heights.
Thank you. Ballston, Virginia Square.
Ken Hughes here, Ballston, Virginia Square.
Thank you. Barcroft.
Doug Bennett here.
Bellevue Forest. Bluemont.
Yes, Nick Pastor from Bluemont.
Thank you. Boulevard Manor. Buckingham. Sherrydale.
Harry Specter.
Claremont. Clarendon Courthouse. Columbia Forest. Columbia Heights.
Sarah McKinley.
Thanks, Sarah. Dominion Hills. Donaldson Run. Douglas Park. Fairlington.
Wait a minute. I mean, we can't hear them. Wasn't that someone answer?
Did we have someone answer?
I called the phones are on mute.
Everybody's on mute, so.
Foxcroft Heights.
Here, Jamie Lockhart.
Thank you. Glen Carlin.
Here, Kathy Reeder.
Is there anyone that I missed? If you want to unmute yourself.
Hi, this is Lauren Bailey from Arlington Woods.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
And Randy Swart from Barcroft.
All right.
Jackie Snelling from the Civic Federation.
Hi, this is Darcy Kaufman from Penrose, attending virtually.
Okay. Actually, we haven't gotten to Penrose yet, but thank you.
Oh, okay.
We were just checking to see if anybody had come in that we'd missed already. Green Valley. Highview Park, Overly Knolls. Highview Park, or sorry, Highland Park. Highview Park. Leeway Overley. Long Branch Creek. Line Park. Lion Village. Madison Manor. Maywood.
Anthony Matterall.
Thank you. Old Dominion.
Jackie Wilson, present and accounted for.
Thank you, Jackie. Old Glebe. And then Penrose. I have you.
Yeah,
already.
this is Darcy Kaufman from Penrose attending virtually.
Thank you, Darcy. Radnor, Fort Myer Heights. Rock Spring. Shirlington.
Judy Harris.
Hi, thank you. Terrell Way Heights.
Right over here.
Thank you, Bill. Waverly Hills.
Alex Lucianitz are here.
Thanks, Alex. Waycroft Woodlawn. Westover Village.
Audrey Clement.
Thank you, Audrey. Williamsburg.
John Levine, present.
Thank you, John. Woodmont. And Yorktown.
Dave Daring.
Okay, we're through that. So now the officer and staff reports.
Yeah.
Kathy.
Do you want me to go ahead?
Yep.
Okay, great. I just have a quick update on the equity situation, and one is to apologize. I've been dealing with some family issues over the past month, and I have really made very little progress on adding additional civic associations to that spreadsheet. I did spend some time with Carter's husband, who was very helpful, who showed me how to go down a level in the census tract so that we could get a tighter alignment with the civic associations. This was like kind of at the early on in February after our last meeting. It all made total sense when I was on the phone with him, and we walked through a bunch of stuff, but I have just not been back and focused on it. So it might take a little time, and I might have to call him again to get back on track with that. But it was very promising in the sense that there are areas where it will definitely get us a tighter alignment with the civic association. So that was very helpful. And beyond that, I think neither David nor John is here tonight, so we don't have an update from them, but that was all I really had from the officer's side.
Okay, thank you. So from the staff side, we had two things to talk about. We have a board report that will be going in front of the county board on Saturday the 18th. It's already gone through review with the county manager, and this is for 4 projects. 35th Street North in Rock Spring, Bailey's Branch Park in Columbia Forest, Thrift and Hill Park in Maywood, and 7th Street South in Alcova Heights. The total for all 4 projects is $2,346,000. And the second thing is that we have been in the process of hiring one new staff person that would be both a planner as well as a landscape architect, and this is to replace Jill Utan, who was our maybe 20-year landscape architect who just retired in December. And that's all I have for officer reports. And I also want to introduce staff that are here, which I neglected to do at the beginning. Natty Martinez is with me, and she is handling letting people in the meeting tonight. I think Steve Bechtel is on as well, and he is our money person.
Budget analyst.
Budget analyst. And I don't know if we had a chance to, Tim, did we tell everyone that he's been promoted to So he, up until now, he's always been the budget analyst underneath the Arlington Neighborhood Program, but he's just been promoted to be budget analyst for all of Neighborhood Services Division. So that's kind of an exciting change for him. And that's all we have. Tim.
Under Chickway now, right? Chickway? Right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chickway Joku, our Neighborhood Services Division Chief.
Your boss.
So does anyone have anything that they want to bring up? And then, of course, we have Tim McIntosh here, who has just moved on for a very exciting position with Parks and Recreation. So
Thank you, Laura.
very happy.
Thank you, everyone, of course.
So that's it for the reports. We just had a brief update on the expanding project types. The survey we had originally anticipated would be released like about 2 weeks ago. And unfortunately, they haven't been able to get it completely worked out, the details of how people will be using it, as well as getting approvals through the county manager's office. We're hoping the next couple days to get that final approval, and then it'll be open for about 4 weeks. And we will be once it is actually open, we're going to send everyone a link so that you can get your civic associations involved, have them take it. And let me go through. So the county is going to be doing publicity of it to try to get as much of a broad swath of people throughout Arlington to respond to it. We're going to be, they're going to be putting it on the web pages, as well as our ANP page. They'll be sending out e-newsletters. Some of the ones they're going to include are Inside Arlington, Housing NNN, and PNB E-News, which is, I think, permits and building. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is. There's also an Engage Arlington webpage, and they'll be publicizing it through various social media channels. And I was going to show all of you how far they've gotten on it so far. So when someone clicks on the link, this is what they'll see. So it's Arlington Neighborhoods Program, and they go through what the program is a little bit, talking about what we're looking for, which is gathering ideas to help develop a vision for what potential projects and programming offered through the Arlington Neighborhoods Program would best serve our communities. They've got some examples of other types of neighborhood projects in different cities around the country that people can click on and kind of get some new ideas for things that might be interesting to do here. They also wanted to go into the background a little bit just on why we're doing this, about the program. And they've got this new date of April 5th that we're looking to have all of the survey data. That'll be the closing date. Then they have some examples here to kind of get people started on thinking about different types of things that could be done. Workshops, that would be very new for us to do. We've got neighborhood cleanups, gardens, mosaics. And then this is where they're going to have people put their ideas. And this is a little bit of a new approach for the county. Normally what they do is you would fill out a survey and then it just goes back into the county's information. And normally you don't get to see what other people are suggesting or get to comment on them. So with this format, they're trying something where it's a little bit more like stickies or Post-its would be. So these are some examples where you could write your ideas, and then if you see things that you like, it's great to have sort of that additional support, so you can click on that you agree. And And then we're asking that people let us know, what's their connection, as well as what neighborhood they live in.
Do these responses carry weight if we do we as representatives of a higher weight than?
So this initial one, there's no weight at all. That comes out through how the data gets sorted and aggregated, and they're going to be able to give us reports that we'll all be able to use. The next step after this, once we get all of that data, is they're going to have about a 2-week period that they're going to try to put together a more of an in-person that would be for all of the representatives to come, have some boards up where you could actually go around the room, put stickies on it, comment on it. If there's transportation, they may have someone from transportation. If it's something that may be safety related, they might be able to get one of the police officers so you can have some dialogue with them about the different types of things that we can do. Once all of that's done, then everyone in ArcNAC, we're going to have more of a working session. We haven't figured out exactly what that format would be, but we want everyone here to be able to say, this sounds like something we want to do. This is not something that we think would be appropriate for the program. And then it'll come to staff to figure out how we can provide new projects. So does anyone have any questions on that?
Arlington Now isn't on that list. Is that just assuming that it's one of the newsletters?
Yes. Yeah, there are definitely other newsletters. These were just some examples that they gave so that I could let all of you know the kinds of things that they're thinking about doing for publicizing.
We don't like Arlington Now because of the comments at the bottom of each article.
Don't look at the comments.
Exactly. I shouldn't say that, I'm being recorded.
Laura, I was just going to ask, I didn't see all the wording as you scrolled through, but it might be good to reassure people to respond that we're not stopping doing the things that we've been doing, that these are new ideas, so some way that we could reassure them that this.
To make sure that that language is on there.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
To highlight it a little bit better. Yeah. No,
it may have been there and I just missed it, so.
I assumed that because it said expanding.
Yeah.
But that may not necessarily be the case.
Yeah.
You know what, why don't I just open it back up? You know what, I think I just shut it. Yeah, I think I closed it. Yeah, so we'll look at it, Kathy, and,
okay.
And I'll run it by
about
you too.
Expanding would sort of suggest that, but
Yeah, because that could be, I think that is an important thing to let people know that all of the traditional things that we've been doing, those are going to stay and those will continue, and hopefully we'll be getting more money for that and working through better ways of doing some of those. Yes, Bill.
If we haven't done any parks projects in quite a while.
Yeah.
But irrespective of that, would it be useful to go to people like Greg and DES and say, what do you think about what we're thinking about doing?
Yes.
And how can we make the two fold together well? And then go to, and with Jane, do the same thing.
Yes. So that is something that we're planning to do. Once we get through all of the ideas and we've worked through them and refined them a little bit with all of you, then that's the point where we're going to take those lists and they'll come back to staff, and then we're going to be going to different departments. We're going to be looking at what partnerships we need. We'll also be providing some of that information to them because it's good feedback for people in the Parks Department as well as different departments in DES to have a sense of what things people are saying they're interested in. So we'll definitely be sharing that as well as looking at the types of partnerships that we'll be doing.
And from my small view, we're doing very few projects, if any, in the parks world. And so it's not just how to merge it, but I asked Jane and company, hey, how about, what can we be a better partner with you? And then, of course, DES is almost our sole focus these days. And what problem? They have a bunch of dollars and a bunch of programs that we could merge and make 1 and plus 1 equal 4 if we do the work well, if we do the work well, coordination well.
Yeah, no,
Of course, good old complete streets is one example.
right, yeah, working with neighborhood complete streets, that's definitely one of the things that we're gonna be sorting through in terms of how to make that flow well. Also Vision Zero, once we get a little further along into the changes through the implementation
Now, what
framework.
happens if somebody comes back to us in this grand coordination and say, if you're only doing DES type projects these days, why don't you just move NC into DES? What do you say then?
What do I say? What I would say is these projects are important to have different ways that the county is prioritizing them and building them. So as you know, we're the bottoms up approach versus what you have in DES. They use a lot of very important metrics to determine where the very, the highest safety risk areas, where are projects that fall within their priority list, but it isn't necessarily what people are looking for or need coming from their civic association.
And especially with DES, what can we learn from them and what can they learn from us?
Yes, yeah, yep, we all need to work together, yeah.
I'll save my question for the end.
Okay.
Because you may address it.
This is the end. Or this is the end of the part that this is more of the questions now. Go ahead.
Okay, so you mentioned Vision Zero, and I am a part of Vision Zero and I know how it works.
Yeah.
How do you envision Vision Zero being a part of this program? Because now it's database, it's not really based on what neighborhoods are requesting. It's based on, what can potentially happen at an intersection or on a street based on what the data tells us. So
right.
How do you envision that?
So it's not that, you've got a way of prioritizing your projects, but let's say you have a civic association that has put a project in with us. It may cover the area that you all are looking at in a specific, say, intersection, right? So if it's in our queue and it comes up to the top, then we would be taking care of it. And then we would be working with you all to see what are the critical things that you have through Vision Zero and have identified. You wouldn't need to build it at that point.
And Vision Zero is more of a quicker build.
Right.
And I don't envision these projects being quicker.
No. So it would be something where we would be working with staff in Vision Zero and we would incorporate what the needs are. So let's say it's 100 on your list and you're not going to get to it for say 5 or 6 years, but our project would be going, and I'm just throwing out an example because I don't know the details of how you guys are being set up right now. Mm-hmm. But we would look at doing something now versus you all get to it much later. That would be one possibility.
I'd like us to flesh that out some more and maybe talk about it.
So as we get further along in some of the changes we're going to be making, we are planning to have conversations with
Christine Baker.
Definitely, yeah. I've already talked to Wei about a lot of, so she's very aware of what we're doing. Dan Neighbors is very aware of what we're doing. So there are things that we're all looking forward to figuring out how those relationships will work and how information goes back and forth, but we don't have a plan set forth yet. And similarly with neighborhood complete streets.
So Laura, I'm wondering if actually the opposite could happen. If it becomes a project that they've identified, maybe they do it and we do
Yes.
something else in the neighborhood.
Yep, that could also happen.
They can do it quicker and address the interests of the neighborhood and.
Yep.
In the community.
Yep, that could also happen.
And your metrics won't have the near misses. And our neighborhoods will be the people who are
But
talking
they
about.
could, well, they could, because we're not just fixing issues based on crashes. It's based on other things too that could potentially prevent a crash.
Well, where do you get that data if you're not getting the
Well, we look at-
anecdotal
we-
stuff
We
from?
look at intersections and we see how trends work based on where accidents do occur. And then we can say, well, based on the trend, we know this intersection may need a nub or a bub out of whatever or this intersection may need a higher intensity crosswalk or something that may not be there at that time that could potentially make it safer.
Well, I'm just saying, I know that we have discussions about
Yeah.
intersections regularly with people talking about how often they see something that almost is bad and that isn't necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are all really important things to work through and to talk about. I think the great thing about what we have between this program and the other programs in DES with the county is that we have many different tools in which to tackle all of these things. And we have different places that people can go. But what we'd like to work on is how to coordinate them better, how to get information out to people better, which, ArNAC is a great method in which to talk about what some of these different programs are. Because as we move forward, everyone here is going to have increased understanding of how those different programs work.
One of the projects that's on that list for the board to approve, 7th Street South, which is, and that was in the top 5 of the Complete Streets program list.
Was it?
It was, yeah.
I didn't
So
know.
I talked to Michelle, because Michelle would share the list with me, Michelle Stafford. And from time to time, you check to see which projects we have on our list that she had.
Yeah.
And I remember, talking with her about 7th Street South. So you all must have put that, somebody from the neighborhood put that project in with Michelle as well. I mean, residents are savvy, they're putting in at any different program. So it worked out nicely. But.
Yeah.
Someone, Jacqueline Snelling, who's on virtual, has a question.
Oh.
If you want to stop sharing your
Check. Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. With the Civic Federation. So apropos of the conversation you just had, would it be your recommendation for us to let civic associations who come to us with traffic issues to refer them to both Vision Zero and to ArNAC?
So that the channels that you would go through are very different for each. I mean, with ArNAC, you would be talking to the Civic Association representative to the committee, and then they have to make that project their first priority to get it into the queue for us.
I understand the process and how the two processes are different. The question is, should we be recommending to civic associations and their duly appointed representatives for each that they submit through both?
At this point, I don't have an answer. I don't know, Chikwe, if you have some thoughts on that. We haven't worked through it at that level yet to see what's the best way, or where we're going to be in terms of what happens if you have something in say a queue in each. That's something that's still to be determined, but
It's my understanding that Vision Zero is being run and managed, it's a bit of a sarcastic statement, by their consultants.
Okay.
And so is Vision Zero going back to the applicable parts of Arlington? Or have they just submitted, they have submitted all sorts of data to the board and the manager, but do they need to go back and try to coordinate it with what DES, NC, or ArNAC is doing?
Yeah. So
I would like to address Jacqueline's question, though, more specifically
Go ahead.
about if there are traffic issues, should she go to both? If you have a traffic issue, I would suggest that she goes straight to DES and the customer care portal, because it may be that it's an issue that needs to be addressed well before Vision Zero can get to it, or maybe that once it's reported, they see it and identify it as something that needs to be a part of Vision Zero. I wouldn't suggest that we just go straight to Vision Zero for any traffic issue. I would leave that to, and I'm speaking as a resident. I'm not the bureau chief, but I'm just saying, based on how I understand it to work,
yeah,
I wouldn't say, you know, we have an issue at this intersection, this should be Vision Zero, because they have certain metrics that they need to follow for Vision Zero, the way the program is being run. So I would say if it's an issue, just report it and let them decide the best path forward for addressing it as soon as they can.
Does that make
Like you're
sense,
saying-
Jack?
It sounds like well, that amends what I've been doing, so that's a good addition. So when people come and say, we have a traffic issue, you know, how can you help us? I've tended to suggest them that they find out what Vision Zero, whether it's on the Vision Zero list or not, and to go there. But it sounds like the portal, which I hadn't thought of, is the first step.
Yeah.
And then they may very well, when they find out through conversation with staff about whether it's been addressed or is on their radar or not, they then might want to go, if they have a project or they have someone already at ArNAC, I would think it might be natural to then come to ArNAC and Vision Zero at the same time. It sounds like you go through the portal to register the item, and then you work through the different processes to advocate. But that is asking them to go to two places.
Yeah, so I think maybe that's what you would be doing today. And that may be the best way to do it today. We're working on some changes for the program. I don't know if you're familiar with sort of the program review that we had, Jackie, but.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so over the next year or 2.5 years, hopefully we'll be done. We're going to be looking at how projects that come through ArNAC and this program, how we coordinate better with DES and other programs that exist, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get them to the right place to have them not be frustrated. So I got an email last week from someone who said, would you please take up this issue of pedestrian safety in our neighborhood? It's very dangerous. So I'm trying to figure out how to be the best
for today. Yeah.
Yeah, best response to them, for them not to spin their wheels.
Right.
Yeah, I think Bridget's right, and suggesting the customer care, because a lot of the times if it's something small after they study, but they can make some small improvements quickly. But they'll also reach out to us and suggest, well, we can't do this. You might want to try this program or that program. So they will actually make a recommendation to contact other programs if they can't accomplish it themselves. So the customer care, I think, is a good place to start.
And let me leave you with this then, because then I won't make another comment, because the coordination is the one I'm most concerned about. So what we were thinking of is thinking about planning a Civic Federation presentation in the fall on the topic of pedestrian safety and ways that the neighborhoods can work on that topic with the county. So it sounds like at the minimum, obviously we need DES there, we need Vision Zero there, it sounds like we need you there. And as you work through this coordination process on that particular issue of traffic, I know there are lots of issues you're going to be looking at. If you can help us think through who we need to have at the table to basically give neighborhoods advice on how do we go about dealing with pedestrian safety.
All right, thank you. That was great to let us know.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
We have a quorum now.
Oh, do we? Oh my gosh, okay.
Taking attendance yet?
Yeah, let's do
We
them.
did, but we didn't, when we took attendance, we didn't have it,
Oh.
but some of the people that filled
I
it
need to sign the list.
Are you gonna finish all of this next week or the week after?
Well, we'll try as fast as we can, Bill. So, any other questions on this presentation? Okay, so why don't we move to the review of the minutes? We're looking to approve both the January and the February minutes. Did anyone have comments on them?
I move that we approve them.
All right,
Second.
who's second?
You can do it.
All right, David is second. Sarah's calling it. Okay. How do I call the vote?
Yeah, any discussion from anyone? Yeah. Want to move fast here, but.
And also you need to update the roll calls. All these people.
I know. I'm going to get them before we go.
I would say we should go ahead with the vote. We could just do a
Okay.
voice vote.
Okay.
Maybe we could start with these guys.
All right. So can we have people raise their hand that are online to vote that you approve the minutes?
Yeah, all in favor.
All in favor? Thank you. Kathy, you should do this.
No, sir.
Did we raise our hand here?
There you go.
Yeah, we can do
Are
it.
we voting to adjourn?
One, two,
Keep your hand up, we can do that.
4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so 16 in the room. And then online we have 1, 2,
8, there's 8 hands out there.
8, and they keep going. It might
Yeah,
have
I
to
gotta-
slow down.
Just go down. Okay, so 8. And then opposed?
Okay, you need to take
Oh.
your hands down.
Can you lower your hands?
Well, this is really on the phone. I'm just putting my hand up.
I'm sorry, who's
Is that Nick?
Someone on the phone, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Ron Bailey on the phone.
We're having a little bit of difficulty hearing you.
I think there's something in the chat.
It's the 917 number.
so I think he just wanted to be added to the count.
Oh.
Put it in the chat.
There's still a hand up somewhere.
All right, can everyone lower their hands?
Oh, That's you. Your viewer.
Now.
Hey,
Now
now,
there's
is
something
there a way to, can you look on and see if there are any hands that need to get lowered?
No hands. The only hand is Jerry Paul. Jerry Paul's the only hand.
So Jerry, did you have a question? Okay. Okay.
And then there was a comment in the chat from Cliff McCready, another vote to approve.
Okay, so that's 10. All right, any abstains?
We gotta vote no first, right?
Did we do?
We didn't do no.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed to
I
approving
thought I
the
did.
minutes?
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
So you should let Kathy do that, she's the chair.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, you do it, Kathy.
Okay. Anybody opposed to approving the minutes, raise your hand online.
Okay.
Say we have nobody opposed. Anybody abstaining online?
I'm abstaining for February. I didn't read, I'm sorry.
Nobody's abstaining online. Then in the room, anybody opposed? And we have some abstentions in the room, is that right? 2
I'm abstaining on
abstentions.
February.
Me too, I wasn't here and I didn't.
Okay, 3.
Both months.
Okay.
So
So
3
3
abstentions for February.
February only.
Okay. All right. So
So I say the minutes are approved.
26, yeah, minutes are approved. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So I think that is it for this portion. So the business part of the meeting.
Did you want to share something else? Or no. Did you want to be sharing your screen?
Should share?
No, I just didn't know because
Oh.
your screen's up.
It's not being shared?
No.
Thank you. All right, I'll go back to sharing. Thank you. Okay. So that is all that we have for the business portion of the meeting. And then we were going to spend some time on Tim.
So we can declare the business meeting adjourned and we'll stop recording.
All right.
But do we need to have a motion for that?
Normally we don't have a motion, but let's have one. Motion to adjourn the business meeting.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.